I will be giving you some statements. At least there are 20 statements. Okay, these are. I'll tell you that that psychometric tool. Basically, we are trying to go on big five. Okay, or it is also known as the OSAN. Okay, but I will be using the small 20 question module of that. Okay, there are n numbers of module for the big five itself. Okay, we'll be working on the 20 question module on that. So every statement you have to write one option of that. That is one ranging from 1 to 5. That is, one is you strongly disagree with that statement. Second is somewhat disagree. Third is negative agree or disagree. Okay, and then fourth is somewhat agree, and fifth is then strongly agree. Okay, so basically what you have to do is to just write the statement number, that is statement number one. Okay, and against that statement number one you have to write 1 to 5 any number. Okay, that you feel that it is that. And once that is done, we will calculate the total. Okay, and I would suggest that be honest to every yourself. Okay, because you are trying to understand yourself, it is nothing that. And even I have been telling you since yesterday that if you have any question or you want to discuss about your personality type or anything, write me privately. You can, so you can be very confident that I am not going to disclose the things, or rather I would say I would not interested in disclosing any personality type. Okay, so what basically, so we'll start with that. So ready with the questions, just have looking forward for one or two as ready, and then we will move. So I will be there on the question for just 20 10 to 20 seconds. You have to read the question fast and then decide accordingly and write it. So I'm not going to be stay there for a longer duration of time. I am not going to go back to the question. Okay, so once the statement is over, it's over. Okay, I'm not going to be going back to the statement. Yeah, you have to write only 1 to 5 any number. Okay, the thing that against that statement, what you feel about that. Okay, so you can, I strongly agree about that statement about yourself. Okay, you can be strongly disagree about that. Okay, so it ranges between 1 to 5. Okay, you can write any number 1 to 5 that you feel. Okay, be honest as possible. Okay, because we are not discussing anything in public. Great. So this is your first statement. In general, I am the life of the party. In general, I sympathize with others' feeling. In general, I get course done right away. In general, I have frequently mood swings. In general, I have a vivid imagination. In general, I don't talk a lot. In general, I am not interested in other people's problem. In general, I often forget to put things back in their proper place. In general, I am relaxed most of the time. In general, I am not interested in abstract ideas. In general, I talked to a lot of different people at the parties. I talked to, sorry, it will not talked. I talked to a lot of different people at parties. In general, I feel others' emotions. In general, I like order. In general, I get upset easily. In general, I have difficulty understanding abstract ideas. In general, I keep the things in the background, my thoughts in background. In general, I am not really interested in others. In general, I make a mess of the things. In general, I seldom feel blue. In general, I do not have a good imagination. Done with your 20 questions? Responses done? Great, great. Okay, so before we, make the thing or do the calculation, let's understand what is actually we actually reverse some of the responses that is there. Okay, that is what we call as the reverse coding. Now if your response is 1 2 3 4 5, okay, you need to do a reverse of that. So if it is 1, it will become 5. It will, if it is 2, it will become 4. It will, if it is 3, it remains 3. If it is 4, it will turn into 2. If it is 5, it is 1. I will tell you about these items, which items need to be reverse coded. Okay, so basically when we are talking about distinct characteristics. Okay, so before going into the calculation, I will just tell you. I've already told you that basically this is coming from the small part of this 20 question part of what we call as the big five. Okay, so a little bit of detail about the big five. It will be better for you who are for not used big five as one of the model. Big Five has now become a very very popular model. Especially there are some organization that is using Big Five like anything. Okay, so although some part of the psychometric tools, I would suggest you also to read about dark personality. Those who are into the sales or those who are into organizations like Uber, Ola, or into Zomato, they if they are into say, organizations like that or into BFSI sector, I would like you to learn a little bit about the dark personality, or it is also known as the dirty dozen or 12 triads. Okay, this is basically to understand the darker side of the part. So if you remember, when we talked about the four temperament, we talked about melancholic. Okay, so melancholic basically are those people who show the dark traits, and those dark traits are actually the those dark traits are actually the personality that is going to do something harm. Okay, so if you understand about the dark personality side of the individual, every person has some dark personality. Okay, me, you, every person has got some dark personality in that person. But it depends upon individual to individual what level of dark personality he has or she has. And on the basis of it is, if it is higher, I would say, advise you to not hire for those kind of activities, because you know uh, that's not good for the society. Just I will like to just have that, so you can go and understand about the dark personality more. This is although out of our program detail that has been designed. Okay, so let's talk about basically the you know about this big five. Okay, yeah, basically the whatever you have done is basically called as mini IP model. Okay, IP was basically developed by Donnellan and his colleagues using the international personality item pool. Okay, so there are 10 numbers of personality item pools there. Okay, you can go and visit ip.ori.org. Okay, you can get a personality pool there. Okay, these all personality, the definition of that and their composition has already been validated. Okay, so you can just pick out questions from there, or you can just pick out the different personality you want to study from that. It's www.ipip.ori.org. Okay, you can also type on them about the international personality item pool. Okay, so if you type on Google international personality item pool, you can find many the personality type there and the questionnaires related to those personality type. Okay, so this test is basically the questionnaire related to your five different personality type. Okay, the five personality type, it was developed, or we can say it's about, we can talk say about that these are the five personality traits, and the definition of this five personality traits, or what we call as we will be discussing about all these items a little bit later within a second. Okay, these basically the big five theory, or basically has been developed by uh, Goldberg from University of Oregon. It was he was a psychologist there, and if I remember, it was around 1980 that he came up with this process. Okay, so there are different theories of personality, but with little doubts, the Big Five personality theory has received the attention. Okay, because it actually gives you the graph. This means that the traits are believed. And this all the traits are basically on the basis of lexical approach. Now, lexical approach means that whenever we talk about some personality traits, you can just open up the dictionary, okay, and find the meaning of that particular characteristic in that dictionary. So, for example, in case of Big Five, our is the five traits are openness, consciousness, think extraversion, and so on. I will come on this part, and then we have. So you can just go open up any dictionary and search the meaning of openness. You will understand the meaning of that. That is what we call as the lexical approach. Okay, this lexical approach, although is there, but it comes out whatever once we say that these are all valid data. This comes out from the complex statistical analysis, and this statistical analysis, or we go use the factor analysis, or yeah, there is a process of clustering analysis and cohort analysis. On the basis of that, we do the factor analysis, and on the basis of factor analysis, we come to say that yes, this particular terminology or whatever we are using, the word is or the test is going to be valid. Okay, so the five traits that we are talking will be when we are concerned about the big five is basically openness, consistentness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Okay, so you can use the word ocean, OCEAN. Okay, so everyone knows about the ocean. Okay, so these are the five characteristics. So to remember this thing, it's the most easy is to identify the ocean. Okay, so there were approximately 200 questions that the big five is there. On the basis of that, we are approximately the test that was designed by Goldberg was having 200 questions. Okay, and there are many developments in case of big five. Then there are neo five that was that came up. Okay, so there are n numbers of different developments. So the number of questions that we practice, or the smaller one that we practice right now, is basically what we call as the mini PIP questionnaire process. And the other the neo is then we have got neo PI that is around 216 questions. Then we have got 200 question sets. So there are numbers of different question sets that is available. Okay, it will be multiple. Usually, it is it has been seen that it is basically multiple of five, but it's not mandatorily. Then the it's that it is the number of five. Okay, so now what we will do is to calculate our score. Okay, so we will break into five part. That is first one, openness. So you can see this. So when you are seeing this your score, okay, you just make this kind of chart. Okay, your score is just your score. Okay, I've just kept this score as the demo score. This is not the original one. Okay, all you need to select the statement number, your score. Okay, and if it is it is written as same, whatever the score you are having, you just write against that. And if it is written as reverse coding, okay, you whatever the options you have, you will just reverse that number and then calculate the final. Okay, got it, everybody? Just share some yeses so that I can understand. Okay, there are some statements here. Okay, these are the demo score that you see on your screen as your score. Okay, so you have got the score, your own score, whatever you have put your score. Okay, if it is written as same in the coding, okay, you have to write, say for example, if your score is 3, okay, write 3. If it is 1, write 5. If it is 3, then it's 3. If it is 4, then it is 2. Okay, so you have to reverse code of some of the options. So we'll be when we is talking about the openness, we are talking about the statement number 5, 10, 15, and 20 only. Okay, so done with that. And once you get this thing, just add on the values. Okay, add on the final score, so you get the total score for openness. Yeah, only for five, statement number 5, 10, 15, and 20. Only for the for statements. These four statements are the part of your openness. This will check the score of your openness. Okay, done with the openness. Next is your conscientiousness. Okay, the similar way, your score. Okay, you have to reverse the score of statement number 8 and statement number 9. Okay, other remains the same. Okay, so you have to just pick out the statement, the your score of a statement number 3, 8, 13, and 18. Done with the openness, consciousness. Next is extraversion. Statement number 1, 6, 11, and 16. Then next is your agreeableness. Okay. Now next is your neuroticism. So the statement number 4, 9, 14, and 19. Okay. So for 4 it will be same, 19 it will be reverse coded. Okay. And for 19 it will be reverse coded. Done with all the 5 personality type. Let's start with you know, the basically you have that score. Okay, so what we will be doing is to just put the score of the 5 big traits, that is openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Okay, so this is what is the score you have done. This is the demo score that I have put. Okay, so don't go about this score. Okay, whatever the score you have. Now, this is the average scores on the various studies or the researches that have been done using this 20 questions model. Okay, this average score is based on some, the university professors or university research scholars that have done. Okay, so this is the average score that has been scored by different people when this research was done to get the averaging of the score. Okay, so it may or may not be the case, because I would suggest when you remember when we were doing the MBTI, we tried to find the the type of the MBTI type of the group or the team, depending upon what the score was there. Okay, so whenever you are doing just if you are having a, the population of your organization is large, I would request you to conduct this ocean and get an average score of your organization. Okay, so usually you'll see that the most of the time though your average score remains in and around this, so plus minus 1 or 2 will be there, so average score will be usually coming like this. Great. So done with this. So just write the big 5 traits on one side, your score, and just average will be there. Great. Okay. So now let's start with the first one, that is openness. For openness, the highest score is basically when you are showing high score when the value is 17 or up. Okay. I don't want the reply of yours. Okay, so whatever the values are coming, high score, average score, or low score, please keep it for yourself. We are not concerned about that. Okay, just to understand your personality, you need to understand your personality and decode your personality. That is what the purpose of this entire process is. Okay, so 17 is the score that if you are getting 17 and up, it's basically a high score. Okay, and if you are getting your score between 11 to 17, this is what is treated as the average score on your openness, and if it is below 11, then it is treated as the lowest score. Of course, this output or 17 and up and average as 11 to 17 is dependent upon the score or the the research you have done. So I have been asked by some participants about doing that. Okay, so that is why I moved to this slide. Okay. So let's get back to our discussion regarding openness. Okay. So openness can be described as the personality traits that is related to seeking novelty and change. Okay. Words that are used to describe openness are things like insightful, intelligent, artistic, independent. Some of who have the broad interest in general level of openness do tend to decline, but this openness tends to decline with the age. Okay, so it is usually said in case of MBTI that the personality types does not changes. Okay, so I'll keep on try to keep on comparing with the different psychometric tool is there. Okay, but I have seen a number of cases that the personality type, although complete, it does not actually changes completely. But of course, there is some change in the values of the personality when we go up to type 2 test. Okay, so if we go to the facet level, we will see that there is some changes that is happening. But overall, the personality usually remains the same as far as the MBTI is concerned. Okay, but in case of big five, their personality or whatever the traits we are talking about keeps on changing, and there are n numbers of different permutation and combinations. So before you get reach to a certain level. Okay, so for example, the value or this average score or the score of an individual who it actually keeps on declining with the age. Okay, so the person who are at the age of around 30, 40, maybe showing the the high score or the average score. Okay, with the age coming into the factor, the score keep on decreasing. It's a general tendency that the scores has been seen. Okay, so that is the people around 60s and 70s maybe have the lower score comparative to those who are into 30 years of old. Okay, so in many ways it does make a lot of senses because we may be more selective in doing something what we are in our golden years of ages. So we are those who are into 30s, 40s or 45, reaching up to 50s. We are very selective in doing something. Okay, while those who have already reached an age of 65, 70, they usually tend not to be more selective. Okay, that is why the score actually of openness keep on decreasing. Also, on an average, the women tends to have the higher score than the males. Okay, so people on who are high on these traits are often described to be very creative, imaginative, and artistic. Openness is also related to higher intelligence on average. Okay, so if you are having a high on openness, you are probably more curious than most of the people and enjoy trying new activities. Okay. You are also more likely to be well aware of your feelings, and you are probably you're the most the person who like to have the open towards unconventional or abstract ideas. Okay. People who are high on the traits often gravitate towards their career and are considered as more artistic. And not surprisingly, many artists and the musicians are high on this particular traits. Similarly, similar patterns is even seen in some creative professions like advertising, as an example. Okay, however, these individuals are also more likely to just however, these individuals are more likely to become bored with their job. So those with the very high score, they are creative, but slowly they get bored with that their job. Okay, and are likely to at some point decides to change their career. Okay, so you will find people who were there in earlier into advertising, now they have entered into sales and so on. So basically the high score people who are more inclined towards going into the artistic or intellectual part of that, or the artistic form of career they have selected, but later on you will see the changes in their career. Okay, so if you have got the the average score in contrast to the people who are lower than the average. Okay, let's take about the first the lowest score, and then you can usually I think you will be able to figure out lower scores. Okay, these are the people who are those who are having the lowest score are straightforward by nature. Okay, so if you have low on these traits, you are more likely to be interested in knowing things like hard facts. Remember the thinking personality? Okay, the thinking people used to talks about lots of facts. Okay. So familiarity is the key. You are more likely to want to stay with the status quo and adopt the mainstream ideas and the belief. You are likely not, overly interested in things like arts, and you could be interested in talking about your emotion openly with the other people. Okay. So career-wise, lower openness score will often successful in the occupation with the low complexity career. So I assume because of the different scores that I have been seeing on during my practicing of that, if most of you are the person coming from HR department, the score of openness would be in the average score. Okay, if it is right, just give me a yes to confirm my op- uh, uh, studies or whatever I have done. Okay, great. Thank you for confirming me. So I have been doing my research work a lot. Okay, so those who are into the average or what we call as the middle score, you may be described yourself as someone who would prefer familiar things compared to unfamiliar. Okay, so going into many abstract ideas is not your cup of tea. Okay, you do not go into lots of abstract ideas. You just want to be more focused into familiar things. Okay, however, at the same time you are not closed off to the new ideas. Okay, so in case anyone has been given an opportunity by the organization to learn this course of decoding personality. Okay, some people would have close their mind. Okay, so ठीक है, why should we go for this training, while some people would say, chalo, let's try one time, why not try it, if it is works fine, if does not works, it's okay with that. So the average score people are those who are usually they take up with the familiar thing, but they are also not closed to new ideas. Okay, you will look at the thing rationally and understand the importance of the facts and the knowledge as well as the routine. You will always learn more conservatively, politely, or you are a person who are diplomatic. You understand the diplomatic personality that understand break the thing and know how to deal with this person and that person. Okay, so the openness score is basically that shows more of a politically conservative part or diplomatic part of that. Okay, on that dimension, in short, you are likely to strike a nice balance between conventional and the eccentric, and that is the exciting aspect of the life. So basically, you are the person who actually keep on balancing different things that is keep on happening. Okay, so let's talk about the second in the personality traits. Okay, this is consciousness. Okay. The highest score for consciousness is 16 and above. Okay. The average is 10 to 16, and below average is basically the score below 10. Consciousness is most associated with descriptors like organization, discipline, order, and impulse control. Okay. The story has been found that for increases with when you are having the low age. Okay, so the consciousness is usually high when the persons are young, and of course this is also the time when the young people are concentrate on things like developing their career, their relationship, and the families. So many people who are getting married and having kids in this initial age around 30 35. So in many ways it makes sense that the people need to become more conscious about in order to juggle all their new obligations. Okay, so you will see the age group around the 35, the the consciousness score is usually seen as high. Okay. Also, studies have shown that the values keep on increasing after some time, and then when the age of around 60, 60 plus comes around, that starts going down. Okay, and there is no difference of the consciousness when it comes to the male or the female. Okay, the values is remaining constant, unlike we have the score of openness is usually higher in case of women. So in case of consciousness, the scores do not have much impact on the behavior of yeah. Okay, so also the degree of the consistence between two sexes are more or less the same. Okay, so people who are high on this trait would describe themselves as being organized. Okay, and they have the plan in place for everything, and they make sure that all details are covered. Okay, so attention to detail is one of the important characteristics of the individuals who have got the highest scores. Okay, they are also likely to be very long term planner, and short term, and not they are not impulsive in the nature. Okay, and in other words, they can wait for their rewards. They have high degree of self discipline, of course, and been very beneficial for a number of things. So for example, highly conscious people are very good at learning new information and new technology. Okay, and they often seek success, and in many other cases people would label high consciousness individual as being high achievers too. Okay, so unsurprisingly, they are often attracted to careers that takes lot of intellectual effort, as things like law or government, or examples, administration, uh, where the finance. These are the areas that they will be working on very high, because it needs lots and lots of intellectual capabilities. Okay, the regular job is not the area that will be they will be looking forward for. It doesn't, it does have the significant downside also. Okay, in respect to that, being respected by highly incredible high standard, most of the people who are score can put themselves at risk for developing perfectionist. So basically, they are so much detail oriented that if you go very high score on consciousness, they slowly becomes perfectionist. Okay, and most of you will also agree with me that those people who are perfectionists actually land to a problem when we are into a social context, or we are in an organizational context, because being a perfectionist is good for oneself, but being a perfectionist in organizational context or in social context is not actually advisable. Okay, so let's take about the below average first. Okay, so below average basically are the people who has got the low score of consciousness. Okay, they are more likely to live in now, and often they choose to act impulsive. Okay, so you those who are into HR would agree that even their score are around 14 plus, if I assume. Okay, so they will be between a little bit into average and high score, not in the low score. A couple of yeses would they just confirm me that. Great. So if we talk about the Indian context, Indian HRs that I have studied so far, as if now I have studied around 700 different HRs personality. So it will be around 13 to it will be range around 13 to you say around 13 to 19. That will be the range of most of the people who are into HR. Usually, generally, that can be ups and downs depend upon the different organizational structure, but usually it is say in between 13 or 12 to say you can take it on the plus minus one. It should be 12 to you know, 18 or 12 to 19, the all the scores will be between 12 to 19. Okay, great. So I am getting a confidence on my researches. Okay, so they are golf. They are not very goal focused. Okay, so the more happens that I have seen a number of cases in my researches that you have been given an instruction that you need if you are into recruitment, doing in recruitment, you are given an option, instruction to find a particular candidate for certain position, and in the same time if you receive a call from other consultant and other organization, and if you are into this the low score, if anyone, although if I most of them are HR, I will not I will be surprised to see people in the lower score for that. Okay, but anyways, if there are, so there will be people who will get a call from a consultant and then leave their assignment and then just go for that call. Okay, so if the people who have got the score of around around 8 to 12, they will be people who ever have the the assignment in their hand, but if they get the opportunity, they will not care about the assignment, they will just move for the opportunity. Okay. That's my own understanding of the different behavior that may or may not be correct, but just giving my research that I have been doing on this area for some stuff. Okay, so researchers found that being the low on the consciousness is actually associated with higher likelihood for divorce, for example. Okay, I assume that we do not have any person of low score here. Okay, so this is especially in case of men. In addition to that, being low on this trait can be problematic for career success. Okay, because I have told you earlier that they are very fickle-minded. Their talks on the impulses. Okay, and there are many factors that are related to success, like depending upon being punctual and hardworking. So coming on the the average part of this consciousness, you can understand from the low score and the high score that if you are there in the middle somewhere in between 10 to 16, but also in the 10 to 16 you find that some of the if you know about the set theory, that is overlapping of the characteristic. Okay, so you will be seen that if you are there on around 11 or 12, you are showing some traits of low, while you are if you are going 13 and above, you are started showing the some traits of higher score. Okay, so average score is basically you are a planned decider. Okay, you do not actually you have the impulse feeling, but you do not actually jump the gun on the right moment of time. So you wait for at least just like if you remember, we talked about the learning style. So you talk to count one, two, three, four, five, and then come up with the decision. Okay. So while the low score with the consciousness score of low actually jump on work on their impulse, the average will be actually wait for a couple of moment. Okay, maybe say for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Okay, think about it and then move. While the average where there is a high score, the people will do the planning in a much better way. The higher the score, the higher the planning effort is there. Okay, so as I said that the higher the score, it will they will become more of a perfectionist kind of thing. uh, okay, here with your score, can you identify these two traits, and is it matching with whatever the description I am giving about yourself? A couple of yes will be very thankful for me. Okay, so great. Let's move to the next, that is extraversion. Okay, now the score of extraversion high is 16 and up, average is 10 to 16, low score is below 10. Basically, extraversion is mostly associated with the words like being sociable, being assertive, with a person with the positive emotions. Okay, this trait has been found to be stable in the course of life, and after the age of 30, extraversion scores changes very rarely, or very little changes there in the score of extraversion. Okay, so your age is not affecting much of the extraversion that we have seen in the our previous personality traits. Okay, so early in the life, it's usually whatever the score you have, below age of 30, you have, there is a little change in the score of extraversion. Okay, however, women display higher score, but this difference being to even as we age early. So, those of our, the participants who are into an age bracket of around, up to 35 would show a higher range comparative to our male counterpart. Okay, I would not ask you to share your score. Okay, but with the increase in the age, this gap of between women and men usually, keep on settling up and becomes, common when, with the growing age. Okay, so these are the facts. The facet, or there are different facets also. As we have seen in case of MBTI, we have got different facets in each of the types. Similarly, we have got different facets even in case of Big Five. Okay, but I will not go into the detail of those facets as if now we are concerned about that. So this is basically when we will see the difference at the facet level, not at the level of combined score of the extraversion. Okay, so people with the high on the extroversion are very likely to be frequently seen seek for social stimulation. They love to be around other people, and they are often comfortable being with the other people than being at home alone. For instance, they may really enjoy being at the center of attention. Okay, so we say have seen that even the extraversion in case of MBTI people also are into like to be at the center of attention. Okay, and when you ask other people what they are like, other people often label them as to be the life of the party. Okay, in terms of the career choices, individuals high on this traits gravitate towards their career and have a lot of social interaction. For instance, if you think of the people who are great salespeople, they are often being enjoy being around with the other people, and their high degree of extroversion is often one important component for their success. There are lots of benefits for being highly extroverted. However, there are also some downside, and it's not all good. Okay. For instance, being extroverted is associated with things like risky decision making. There is, they are, they are going to be being the word called life of the party. They would, get attached to n numbers of people. Okay, so before they decide actually what kind of personality should I go for this or not, the high extraversion actually pulls them to get associated with n numbers of people, so they can get into risky sexual behavior. Okay, and they often don't do as well as they don't do good in their academic settings. Okay, so these settings often require things a lot of study and being alone and reading, because you will find people who are more studious kind of people. They are people who likes to be uh, likes to be slow, or likes to remain in silos, because they want to study a lot of things in case of that. On the other hand of the spectrum, people with the low score of extroversion, more commonly known as the introvert. Okay, in many people, these peoples are opposite to the extroverts. So the people who are more introverted are more comfortable on their own, and individuals low on the extroversion are often perceived to be much more subdued or to the lack of energy compared to those who are high on the energy. So the concept of energy also comes here in the big five also, that was there in case of our MBTI. Okay, they are also more likely to build up more meaningful, friendful relationship. Okay, and then they have got a fewer, the number of friend circle of the extroversion people who are having the low score is usually the number of people who are very small. Okay, even they are talking to n numbers of people, but they keep them their views or their thinking about them. Okay, so yeah, introverts can be seen as more genuine. Okay, they are often more interested in the academic activities as compared to the higher score in the extroversion. Okay, for instance, these individuals are able to sustain their attention for a longer duration of time. Okay, so basically, when we are talking about the extraversion, so those people, if having a long classes of around 3 hours or 4 hours, 3 hours as we decided for this, for people who have got the highest score on extraversion, it will be difficult for them to continue with the keep on learning the thing, while those people who are low on extroversion are able to cope up with the academic pressure, so that they can be there for longer duration of time. So they do lots of studies, they do lots of reading. Okay, so examples would be career examples like accountant, statisticians, programmers. Okay, the mechanics. These are the the career related to a low score of your extraversion. This is one of the the traits that has really got lots of pros and cons. Okay, so extraversion, to be got into the detail of the characteristic of extraversion, I would suggest you to go for, as we have taken very small test to identify of that, that is the 20 questions test. I would suggest you to go for a higher level of that, and that is available on Google. You can just Google it out and search for the Big Five personality test. The algorithm is also available so that you can get the score of that. The average or the lowest score or the highest score that I have mentioned is more or less similar to that. So whatever the score you get there, you can compare your score accordingly. Okay, so those who are having the average score, most people fall into between the two poles. Most of the people are there. If you see the score rating, 10 to 16 is a long range. Okay, they are more easily able to have the foot in both of the camps, and depending upon the situation. Okay, now these are the people who have got these are the people who are see, it's not that only one score or only one personality traits is going to decide your career. Okay, it's basically a combination. For example, when we were discussing about enneagram. Okay, it's just like prism. Okay, so it's basically it's a combination of the different personality characteristic that will be working. individually one or two personality traits, extraversion or openness is not going to drive your career. It will be a mixture of the composition of that. What I am basically trying to make you understand the different level that will be there, and on the basis of level the career choices will be there. So it's not that I whatever the career I am saying you is actually the 100% right. Even the persons who are not showing the characteristic can land up to on that characters, that particular career itself. Okay, so they can be easily adapted in the degree of the sociability. They are comfortable at the parties and the social settings. Okay, and the when we were doing MBTI, we used to see that the person is more into extraversion or introversion. Okay, so if you see the your score of MBTI, you will find that it's not actually coming in the middle. Most of the scores are either on the towards the extroversion or towards the introversion. Okay, so characteristics are more. But when we are working with the big five, we and especially at the facet level, we are able to identify that the tendency of most of the people are into the average score, not on the higher or the lower score. I hope most of the people into the HR department are into the HR average score. Okay, not in the falling in the lower score or the higher score. A couple of confirmation would be great for me. Okay, those who are especially into HR. No, high can be there, high can be there, low can be there. I'm not saying that, but I would say that most of the the population will be in the extraversion. Okay, because they are the people who are usually people in HR department are seen to be taking the balanced decision, because they are sandwiched between the management and the employees. So employees will be saying that this is he is the person representing management, and management will say that he is the person representing the employees. Okay, so these are the person usually are very good in handling both the issues very good. Okay, so those who are showing the high score, either they are the people's manager or the employers representative. Okay, so this is all about extraversion. Now let's take about the next one. That is where, okay, I missed that. Okay, I missed the slide of agreeableness. So can you just note it down if on a piece of paper? Okay, so the agreeableness high score on agreeableness is usually would be greater than 18. Okay, and the average score will be around 14 to 18, and those with the lower score is 14 and less, 14 or less will be the lower score of the thing. Okay, so basically when we try to understand the agreeableness. Okay, so this trait is associated for with being generous and helpful to other people. Okay, so level of agreeableness tends to increase during our 30s, and this uh, coincides with the changes often related to things like starting family or developing a career. You'll see that the people who are working or starting up the career, or those who are looking forward for change in their career, in their job perspective, you will see that the score of extraversion is agreeableness is more on a little higher side. So agreeableness, unlike some of the other traits, are often continues to increase over time, and this happens well way into our 60s. The values of the agreeableness scores usually increase with our time. But I have seen in case of Indian population that after say getting the age of around 65 plus, the agreeableness scores starts tends to go down. Okay, I don't know and understand. I have tried to understand that why actually it happens, but that's there in the case of Indian population. Okay, so equivalence score actually starts coming down after age of 65, and especially that is there in the more in the case of the male members on the basis of the data that I have been collected. I'm not sure whether it is correct or not because I have not done the cluster analysis on that, but still that is what my observations are. Okay, so when usually it is seen that when the person is becoming the grandparents, okay, the agreeableness scores starts coming up. Women constantly score higher on these traits than men. Maybe that is not a surprise to many. This is true for both trait level. Okay, so let's look at the the higher score of agreeableness. Less highly the they the value the people's opinion. Okay, so basically high agreeableness, basically, yeah, you can decode the word itself called agreeableness, that the person is agreeing to something. Okay, so the high agreeableness scale is basically they are agreeing agreeable to other people in general. Okay, they often work to ensure harmony and teamwork within the people. They tend to be pretty good mediators and good at handling the conflict. Other benefits of being high on the this trait is marriage satisfaction. People are with a high agreeableness tends to become good husband and wife. No personal comments on that, but you can understand why actually this happens. You agree to this thing and there is no conflict. Yeah. Okay, so it makes sense because they are quite cooperative, and they are very attentive to their spouses. Agreeable people are seen as quite trustworthy. Okay, similar to the high agreeableness, individuals are also more likely to put their trust in other people. But sometimes this can backfire, as there is a greater degree of distrust may result in being taken advantage, and which these people are often quite and good at controlling their negative emotions. So they control their negative emotions, and because they control their negative emotions, uh, they there is a problem with that. They agree to people, will become put trust on them, and suddenly if say anything goes wrong, they sell themselves inside. They put themselves inside their own cocoon. They move into own cocoon, and they do not actually trust. So suddenly, if a big distrust happens to them, you will see that there is a sudden change in the Big Five scores. Okay, so this can be quite problematic. They are more quite apt to disengage from disagreement in the way appearing to other people. They are more likely to give up more on the more than the fair share. Okay, so if they are working on the partners there, they will give up the most part of the share. Let the other people be happy. So they believe in more into the harmony kind of thing. Okay, so this later on can lead to problem, especially when we. Okay, so those who are having the low score, people likely to be more disagreeable in nature rather than focusing on the needs or desire of the other people. Okay, they tends to put their own needs first, and unsurprisingly, they are also seen as being more combative in social interaction and easily able to buy their own true feeling or put their own true feeling on the topic. So, in other words, we can say that they don't hold back their emotions. They are highly distrusting of other people. They do not trust most of the people. Okay, and they will put themselves as first. Me first, or thing. So those who is tough and their opinion, and sometime unfortunately they can also be seen as being the bullies. So if you are seeing bullies in your organization, so you can understand from there that the person has got low score of agreeableness. They will not agree to each of the thing. They will try to put themselves first or their opinion first. They often actually works on their financial benefits. So this is the people who are low on the trades tends to actually do better in terms of salaries. Okay, so you will find that the salary of those peoples are usually higher because they want their share first. Okay, so that is they want their own things first rather than on any other thing. Okay, so they are often being better leaders because they are seen as the people who can make the tough decisions. Okay, so the people who are into top management, as usual, it is seen that they have got lower score of agreeableness. They are not basically what we can see as a people leader. Okay, an average score on this trait is associated with the healthy degree of trust as well as the people with the average score. They are people who are in a mixture of that, so they trust other people, but not having trust like those people who have shown the highest score. Okay, they trust people. They also so people who you can understand that laissez-faire style of leadership. Or sharing style of leadership, they are more of the leadership style of the people who are having a average score of agreeableness. So next is your neuroceptive. Okay, this is the last part of our traits of basically what we are talking about the ocean. Okay, so the high score is 13 and up. Okay, average score is ranges between 7 to 13, and low score is basically little between the less than 7. Okay, so basically, neuroticism is related to your negative emotions. Okay, and it also shows the nervousness. Okay, so the higher the score is higher score on neurocytism is usually not preferred when we are doing the recruitment process or any other processes, because that actually shows for negative emotion. So when we dissect neurocytism further, we get some parts of what I told you earlier about the darker personality. Okay, so usually it is seen that the average score or the lower score is good enough. The highest score on neurocitizen is not usually a better one. Okay, so it is basically the personality traits that is most related to things like anxiety, depression, being temperamental, being self-conscious, and anger. Neurotypes ultimately describe how emotionally stable the person is and how sensitive they are to negative things that happens to them. Okay. So when something negative happens to them, then you see the neuroticism score has to be the high. Level of neuroticism are normally higher in the younger adults, and this is especially in the case of women. Researchers indicates that the social environment faced by the girls and the young women may contribute to higher neuroticism. So with those who are into female gender, if they have faced anything in their adolescence, you will find that those people usually have the higher score on neurocytics because they used to treat everything in a negative manner. Okay, when there is a saying in Hindi, दूध का जला छाछ फूक फूक के पीता है. Okay, so it is more or less similar to that statement again here. Okay, so this helps to explain the personality difference. However, if you look at the facets of neuroticism, one facet where the men often have the higher scores in case of facet, that is what we call as anger or hostility. Usually, in case of anger, the the score of males are usually seen higher. Okay. Now the good news is that we that as we age, the difference between men and the women beings begins to even out. Okay, that is the neuroticism level in the women on the average being dropped as they become more established in their life. Looking at the long, the long the research that has followed with the people over time, the younger the age is there, neuroticism is higher, and with growing age, the values come on. No. The first thing is that you have to master any psychometry, and that's not easy. Even I've been practicing this psychometry for a long way, but still I say that I am still in the learning phase. Okay, so mastering a psychometric tool, I don't know at what level of I would able to answer that question. Okay, so higher score on neurocitizen people are highly neurocytic. Generally have challenging time coping up with many demands of their daily life. They become very worried and very emotional when they are under stress. For people on the high on the traits, they have more likely to see the situation in the life as being threatening, even if other people don't see it that way. So people, for example, someone who is highly neurotic maybe feel that the constructive criticism is the direct attack, even when it is never meant to have. So whenever you even you criticize it on a constructive part with them, so they will take them as a direct attack on them. Okay, rather than taking it in a positive manner. So those people, that's the characteristic of high neurotypical. Okay, so high neuroticism is oftenly associated with poor relationship satisfaction. For instance, in large part due to their own insecurities, highly neuroticism people are more prone to things like jealous. Okay, they tend to be less forgiving and are very feel slighted. One study that follows that newlyweds for the first years of their marriage found to have hiding neuroticism were related to have the both a degree of sexual satisfaction on the relationship. Okay. uh, Usually the values come down. Okay, so high neuroticism has been often linked to a number of career related problems. Okay, because they will not they are because of their anger, jealousness, or not taking the case. Usually now, there are some career issues related to this. Even we talk about across the world. Okay, so they are more likely to be burnout. They are more likely to switch careers. Okay. However, in peoples on the higher on both consciousness and neuroticism can succeed in their work because of their feeling of anxiety can motivate them to work harder to meet the deadlines. So, depending on the combination of different scores. Okay, so on the other side of the spectrum, that is what we call as the lower score. Okay, so people with the lower scores are often more confident in their life and are confident in their own abilities. They are also more likely to report very few medical problems and psychological problems. A lot of them is due to having less stress in their life because of their approach or handling the stress. Okay, these are the people who we are likely to be for okay. So basically, the persons who are into the low score of neurocitizen, they work hard and get the work done, and they always keep their bosses very happy. And but at the same time, they also work, to walk on the double-edged sword. So in respect to neurocitizen, has both workplaces and neurocitizen has got both pros and cons. Although we will not go into dig much into detail of that. Okay, and the average score is the middle of the neurocitizen experiences some negative aspects related to neurocitizen, but not in that considerable way as the the higher score. In other words, scoring of the middle of the trait suggests you that you are a calm person most of the time, but on occasion you feel overwhelmed emotionally, especially under the period of stress. So rather than in the general way of being, people who experience some neuroticism are in the middle of the neuroticism, and the influence more on the situation, and then they find themselves. Okay, so this is overview of the two different, the psychometric tool. Okay, whatever the discussions we have taken place in case of MBTI, you understand decoding your own personality using the two different psychometric tools, the MBTI and the Big Five. In some cases, you have to go to the facet level and do the detailed analysis. What actually we try to understand here is on the basis of small questionnaire, and at the same time, uh, you have to the questionnaire need to be bigger one, the test need to be bigger one to identify. Okay, so those who are you have done your higher secondary from science, we used to have our chemistry examinations there. Okay, so when we are talking about the chemistry, we used to do the first test, the what we used to call as the pre-test, or then after doing one or test, then we goes to go for the confirmatory test. Okay, so this is an initial level of decoding your personality, and further when you go into dig deep into the psychometric tool, you will be able to identify more about your personality and understand and to go into level of facets. Okay, I've just tried to introduce the concept and give you an overview of what the entire process is all about. Okay, so you can further dig deep into that, go to the facet level. Okay, there are ample of information available on internet. Okay, ample of researches that is there on the Google. Okay, so what I would suggest, if you want to learn about MBTI, is like type MBTI and then type PDF. Okay, so when you type PDF, you will get all the PDF documents that are there available on the net. Download it, keep on reading. The more you read, the more you do the research. Keep on using this small test on a number of people that is in and around them, and try to understand what kind of personality and whether that is matching with your personality type or the outcome of the result that is coming with you. Okay, so more you practice, the more you do the researches, you will more agree. So for example, I told you a number of things that was there, the characteristics of the human resource personality, and I saw that most of the people matched the score or the score that I have actually discovered being from the HR department. See, I would not, say any psychometric tool to be, the perfect one. Okay, every test has got its own pros and cons. Okay, and also it depends upon how much you have understood that psychometric test. Now that combination you have to come up till the time you actually go into detail of all the psychometric tools.